It's a great day in SimWorld, everybody. Good morning and welcome to SimWorld Today. I'm B-Ron. Alongside me is my co-host Yells. Good morning, man. How you doing? Happy Wednesday to you.
Hey, happy Wednesday to you. Brr. You have to
No,
you have to excuse though. You're gonna see the sun shining in because we need the sun here to warm it up, and it's SimWorld today, so we need the sun out. So y'all excuse the sun this morning.
yeah, we sure do, man. Sure do. Look, sun's out, guns out. Maybe not now, guns out,
Sun's
cause it's
out,
cold
buns
outside.
out.
But keep your buns in because it's cold. Keep all the body parts inside. It's cold. Stay inside. Anyway, look, let's get talk about some of the action from last night around various things here in SimWorld. Starting with SimWorld Prep and the OT thriller that was on last night between Bay Area and Lakeshore Drive. We got to see Trey Hyman and Bay Area go up against Lakeshore, and this was a fun game all throughout. Y'all, as we see Nominations take a three and have it missed. And come back the other way, Jamie Ramos on the rebound, and he's going to take a three to beat the buzzer going into halftime. Getting the lead closer there, and in the fourth quarter, trying to win the game, but Trey Hyman says, no, we're not doing that. We're going into overtime instead. And in the overtime period, D'Angelo Jordan got one of the first daggers thanks to a corner three
That
ball.
was a big time
Got
shot right
that
there.
one to go. It was absolutely huge, and Zagor ended up putting the game away for good. But all the same, Lakeshore Drive beats Bay Area 85-79 in overtime.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there was so much happening in this game. Look, there was quite a bit of talk before the game between
Yeah.
Trey Hyman. I would say it was a bit one sided too. D'Angelo Jordan had his comments before the game. I think they made their way out, but Trey Hyman decided to end it with all the talk.
Yep.
And Trey Hyman got outplayed early on in this game. Got played out thoroughly. Outplayed thoroughly in the first and second quarter by Kyrie Holtzclaw. He was on the glass. He was on the offensive boards. Kyrie
Yeah.
was. He was defending. He made life hell for Trey Hyman early on. Trey Hyman finally got it going. The big story on Bay Area was Adonis Knight was going crazy. 23
Absolutely. Especially in that
points.
fourth quarter.
Yeah, I mean, in the first and the fourth particularly, he went bananas. And then, Bay Area struggled, but they battled back. I think they may have been down as many as 20 in this one, were they not? They were
Something like that. Something
they were
crazy.
down big at one point, and then they fought back. And then Lakeshore Drive, particularly Norman Nations, that last cat we saw on that we saw on that graphic in the fourth quarter. I believe he put up something like 12 or 14 in the quarter. Don't forget about Norman. Do not forget
Right,
how
exactly.
good these players are in SimWorld Prep. Just because they're not putting up 25 points a game, this is the best of the best high school age kids in the world. In the sim world, do you understand what I'm saying? So maybe they fall back from time to time. There's
Right,
plenty of
exactly.
kids that fall back from time to time when the pool gets shrunk down. Norman Nations went to work though, and ultimately D'Angelo Jordan is going to get the victory. He had the better statistical performance than Trey Hyman. If we were going to go head to head in matchups, great win for Lakeshore Drive overall. Where people say, "Hey, this is a one man show," or maybe it's their schedule's not so great. They're beating elite teams, and last night they beat the Barrier Breakers. Matter of fact, for the majority of the game, B Run, they beat the brakes off of them. It got close late. And then they battled back. Or after Bay Area, who showed great fortitude, they're battling back. But after that, Lakeshore Drive put it into overdrive, heading into overtime, and said, you know what, we got this. We're going to outwork y'all. And all the teams that have been outworking teams this week, they've had their hard hat on this all season. Their records show it.
Exactly. It's been a really fun to see, Lakeshore play like they have this season under head coach owner Rosante Vance. And speaking about him, uh, are we surprised by how effective Rosante Vance has been in this role? That keep in mind, he took it upon himself to do it. Back when Coach Loveless was on the team, Brian Loveless is that was Heartland, but when he was there, they butted heads. Vance got him out of there, and he said, "You know what? I'm gonna do it myself." And he's come in and he's made his mark on this team. and he's got them playing extremely well. We know he has that head coaching background pedigree, with previously coaching in college and that kind of stuff. But so are are you surprised that he's been able to come in and do both of those roles effectively?
No, I'm not surprised. Should we be surprised? He has a background in coaching. Apparently, he knows what the hell he's doing too, because he's got
Yeah,
these kids
no,
playing. Like, uh, a lot of people come out and they try these unique gimmicky offenses and defenses, or they're a motivator, a more of a motivating visionary kind of leader, kind of coach, or you have these other guys that we've set our strategy, and that strategy rocks all game long. We don't change it. We don't deviate for any reason.
right, right.
Lots of different kinds of coaches out there. Apparently, he does them all. And he runs multi-million-dollar business. So he's checked in. There's clearly a chip on his shoulder and on his team's shoulder where it's trickled down, where they say, hey, man, I mean, look at Norman Nations. Norman Nations got talked about last season as if he was not an elite player. No one talked about him coming into this season at all. And look what he's been doing so far this season. I'm sure D'Angelo was in his, or excuse me, Rosante was in his ear saying, "Hey, you should have a chip on your shoulder. I got a chip on my shoulder." D'Angelo Jordan, people were saying, "Hey, he's good. He's not top 5, top 10." I'm sure he went to D'Angelo and said, "Hey, you need to have a chip on your shoulder." So he has the motivating factor there, is what I'm saying. We've seen him make
Yeah.
adjustments in games where he's got the X's and O's in line. And then finally, apparently, he has a good scheme overall. So all the pieces are in place. I'm not shocked. I'm shocked that it's coming together so quickly. But as I always say, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. We got a lot of big names in this league. A lot of them are not in the gym. They're not watching the tape. We're in there. B-Ron, I know you're in there. You're checked in. I know Siege. I know a lot of our people on our team. I know a lot of the players who are watching a lot of the film because they're requesting the clips. We see them checked into the streams. With these kids that are not putting in the work film-wise, despite what their name is and their talent level is, these teams that are working hard are getting the W's. And
Yeah.
Rosante's got a hard-nosed team, and his personality has filtered down to them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things, again, just going back to Vance's background really quick, he eventually got up to coaching at Illinois College, the Blue Boys, not the Fighting Illini.
Okay, I was like, Illinois College? What the hell is that, B-Ron?
Totally different thing. But the one thing that impressed me most about this game, in particular from Lakeshore, is the ball movement, and that's
Oh
one
my
thing
God.
that Vance,
Yeah.
Dante Vance, he emphasizes that extremely in his coaching style. Old school ball movement and defense. That's his thing, and they did a lot of that last night very, very well.
And the crazy thing is, so far this season, it would seem like it's been all DeAndre Jordan. And at times it has been, because when he's rolling, coach say, "Hey, I roll with you. I rock with you. That's our guy." When Norman Nations has been rolling, he says, "No, we roll with Norman Nations," and Norman Nations takes over the offense. Other than that, you've seen ball movement, but those guys have had it going so much that he has not had to showcase the ball movement. Last night, clearly, he said this is an athletic defensive team. They have lots of defenders out there that are mobile and can guard different people. We saw lots of different matchups from Bay Area with different people guarding D'Angelo and other players on the court. So he said, "Let's move this rock." And he must have told him that before the game. He got his Pharrell on. Young, move that rock. Yeah, young, move that rock. Hey, move that rock. Move that rock. And they did, man. I think how many assists did they finish with? Let me look at my stat sheet here. That has to be a season high. 25 assists
Wow.
in the game. And that's incredible. That's incredible. Look,
really
I'm
is.
looking now. It's not a season high. I actually got them 5 out of 26 assist
Ooh, by
games so
one.
far this season. But Lakeshore Drive has 2 separate 25 assist games, with 2 of those games in the top 5 performances so far this season.
I think they'll set that new season high pretty soon here. Let's keep it rolling, though, shall we? Rocky Mountain and Gulf Coast squared off last night as well in the final game of our SimWorld TV coverage last night. And this was another one that was, Rocky Mountain came in on a losing streak, and Justin Bell said, "I got something to, say about that. We're gonna get back in. We're gonna get back to our winning ways here." And there's some great defense here. Ezekiel Bull saying, "Get that out of here."
Get it out. He's such a great defender. Not enough respect for his game.
Really is. And Aiko Kasai going to work here, getting to the rack foul and the bucket. 2 points to him as they try to call the way back into the game, but it wasn't enough here. As we see Justin Bell kicking it back out to Bonde Thunda for three. And Rocky Mountain snaps the losing streak they were on, and Gulf Coast falls 86-78 at home. The Monsters.
Yeah. Everybody loses. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Everybody loses sometimes. Rocky Mountain came out here and they hooped it up. Anybody remember that? Justin Bell, 23 points. Dink Pate, 20. Bunde Thunder, like we said, he's emerging as the third option here, 14 points. Lucas Banks, a modest 8 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, just doing a little bit of everything like he normally does. No turnovers is what I look at in this game. Rocky Mountain only turned the ball over 3 times. They took care of the ball. They dictated the tempo of the game. And that's something that teams have not been able to do against Gulf Coast. Gulf Coast has come in and they've asserted their will defensively against teams, and they've made you play their style of basketball. They slow you down. But Rocky Mountain got into their up-tempo offense and said, no, we're going to force the tempo here. Kai Killen's got it going late. Oh, my goodness. His post game, his fourth quarter prowess, B-Ron, is crazy. Like, it's Dwayne Wade-esque. Looking forward to see what he does at the more elite levels. But look, everyone loses sometimes. Gulf Coast loses. Rocky Mountain gets back on track. So it had to happen at some point.
Yeah, it sure did. And, one of the things that that makes this win all the more important is the fact that Gulf Coast was on a nice little streak themselves, and for Rocky Mountain to come in and snap that streak for them, for both streaks, the win streak for Gulf Coast and the lose streak for them, in my eyes, it's a statement win, given also how well Gulf Coast has played this season in general too.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, great marquee win for Rocky Mountain. Just when they may have been starting to skid, they turn it around with a big-time win over a big-time team who we just finished talking about is one of the elite. Gulf Coast is going to go back to the lab. They're going to get it right because they're based on defense and identity, and they allowed themselves to play someone else's game last night. So I'm sure they'll be okay. Every team loses, like I said, but big-time win for Coach Robinson, Justin Bell, and everyone out there in Rocky Mountain.
Absolutely, big time win for them, and let's again keep it rolling because we got more things to talk about this morning. Showtime, as the yells like to say. They lost
Showtime
again, man. Yeah, they lost again, man. They're third in a row to Yacht Club, and look at Josiah Cook hanging on the rim, doing a pull up on the alley-oop, man. Tough finish, and Israel Vine showcasing the handles and the layup as well in the process. And there's Xavier Pope firing a 3, getting that one to go for him. And here's Cole Webb with it, and he's rising to the occasion for Showtime. But again, Showtime as a whole did not rise and get the win. Instead, they lost and lost their third in a row. Is it time? Are we hitting the panic button on them yet?
I can't panic because I've never been in love with their team. What's the panic? I'm not. I love Cole Webb. I love the exuberance he plays with. I'm a big Bryce James fan. I think at the end of the day, Bryce James is a solid fundamental kid in the way he goes about the game. I like Jarius Bradley. I'm a big Brendan Romine fan. I don't like the components of this team altogether. I haven't since day one. I don't. Who does what?
Oh man.
Who does what, B-Ron? Who does what? You got to have a facilitator. Who's their facilitator, B-Ron? Tell me who facilitates. Not who plays point guard. Who's the facilitator on the team? Don't worry, I'm waiting.
Look, if it's anybody, I would say Bryce James, but I took too long answering your question. However,
right. I've seen him playing the position. I'm not
Yeah.
comfortable with it. Who's their 3-and-D wing?
Yeah.
That's
look,
maybe Bryce James, but we've seen him playing point.
Right.
We've seen him playing point guard. He's been handling the rock. Who's their post offense?
Brendan Romine, maybe.
Maybe we haven't seen it yet. I don't know what they do. There's only one thing that I know happens on this team, and it's not a good enough identity for me because we saw this identity a season ago, and it was not enough. It's not how you get things done. And that identity is Cole Webb shooting the ball whenever he wants.
Yeah. Look,
Great player. The identity can't be one player shooting all the shots. Like, where's the offense come? Where does the ball movement come from? Where's the defense? Where's the perimeter defense? That identity I have not yet seen from this team. The roster makeup, I find it odd. I like individual players on here, but I just don't know if they're in the positions they need to be in.
It's a tough situation for Showtime, and I want to first say that I like all things you said, Yells. Some people will say that having an opinion is bad, and that media bias is a thing to being biased by saying those things. I'm gonna leave it there. Leave that there for now. But no, I Showtime, they are in a tough spot, I think, because, like you said, they're all over the place in terms of what they do best and what they don't do best, and I like Cole Webb, as I've said plenty of times. I like Cole Webb, and I didn't like the move of him going to Showtime, but now that he's there, like I'm okay with it in the sense that he's playing while he's living up to being there. So it's a good thing for him that he got to come to Showtime and play there. But I feel like we should continue to see more of Bryce James, and Bryce should maybe take that leading role, if you will. And he did it last night. 22 points. He did his thing last night. But I think you need to see more of that as the games go on, and maybe we'll see them get it together. But I'm not gonna panic yet either on Showtime. Sure, there are 3 losses in a row, but they're still above 500 right now. So I'm not gonna panic just yet. But maybe if they go under 500 with this losing streak, then yeah, we could talk about panicking. But But
it's Showtime basketball.
I'm with you though. Yo.
Where
all over the place.
Where's the Showtime? Where's the Showtime? Right? That's the problem. Where is the Showtime at? I don't want to see them playing defense because they're not good at it. I don't want to see them trying to be a defensive squad. That's not what LA basketball is all about, and apparently they're not great at it. Sol Evans had 0 shot attempts last night. Jarius Bradley only 4. Nick Moss, who has been consistently one of the most inconsistent players, but he has great highlight. He can go get his own bucket. So in those moments where it's just been Cole Webb trying to force the offense himself while no one else can create, why not Nick Moss? Why not? I just don't understand. There's too much talent over there. And a lot of these kids, I'm sure we're going to see them go absolutely haywire next season, wherever they are, or, be that with another team, be that they're in Showtime once coach figures it out, or at the SWBA level. But as of right now, it is not cohesive. That's it. It's not cohesive.
Yeah. Well, look, let's move on. Let's end the show on some SWBA talk, shall we? Because we saw a big man duel last night as Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid went at each other.
They're third in the West. Played exactly 41 games as Jokic.
He shoots 15 shots.
Some teams are allowing Jokic and going one-on-one with him to try to turn him into a scorer as Embiid. Tyrese Maxey turning the corner, gives it right back. Embiid, always a willing shooter from three-point range, and he knocks it in. Pacers without Halliburton on Sunday in Denver. Embiid against Jokic. Crowd swells up. Embiid hits it on him. Porter made 7 threes against the Pacers. Here's Gordon. Jokic with the offensive board. Second offensive rebound. He puts it in.
But I'm becoming a Jokic fan. I'm a huge Jokic fan. I never really, as I'm watching these highlights, Philly got the win.
Stops and pops on NBA.com for more.
But you see, I think one of the things that Denver did, and it just happened to work tonight, I don't think it's going to happen most nights. Look at all these jumpers. And I know that's part of the league game, but they're giving them the jumper. They said, you're not going to beat me from the free throw line.
Gets it
We're
deep.
not going to give you all those
Scores.
BS calls. You hit this jumper, then you
well.
score 40 or whatever he scored last night. We see him, look, he's pulling up there. He's so skilled, man. He is so skilled, but I hate to see that from a big man. So much, just so much perimeter play. Anyway, I think I may have said in the chat earlier today, B-Rod, despite the Sixers win, despite the fact that I like Joel Embiid, despite the fact when he gets in the post, his footwork is phenomenal, and it reminds me of a legitimate big man. He gets those elbows high, and he's knocking people down. He's offensive fouling them. If the ref wants to call it, that's what a big man is supposed to do. Nikola Jokic is still the best big man in the league. I'm not going to say it's not close, but it's not as close as some would like to say. Jokic is an absolute monster. They lost the game. They lost a game. Teams lose a game. Sometimes you get outperformed. But Jokic has shown historically that he's a better player. If Jokic got 12 free throw attempts per game, he would average 40. And that's what Embiid gets, right? So I've seen lots of times that Jokic does not get the same calls that Embiid got. But great matchup. Maybe those two being where they are, if the SWBA stop trying to focus on ratings so much and offense so much, putting those two on display and having them perform the way they did last night, maybe there'll be a resurgence of big men, and everybody will stop trying to play on the perimeter. Everybody can't beat Steph Curry. Get your ass in the paint on the elbow.
Yeah, not everybody can be Steph Curry. Absolutely right about that. And not everybody can be us and be on the show every day and enjoy the show and all that stuff. So I appreciate you y'all coming on, as always, being with me here this morning. That's gonna do it for our show today, though, you guys. Thank you again for tuning in. As always, remember, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you can get notified when all of our videos and all of our shows, all of our streams go live as well. And remember, SimWorld is the only place where you can see the game, be the game. We'll see you tomorrow.